All right, good morning. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers, and this is our daily eCom morning motivation. So, my passion, again, my name is Nicole Whitlock, and my passion is helping people on their e commerce journey, helping them to get organized, to get focused, to get some consistency in their business, in their life, helping them to be productive. And so, if that is you, if you're new to the journey, or maybe you've been on the journey for a while, but you just don't feel like you're as organized as you should be, or you're not as structured as you should be, then I invite you to come and listen in. We do this every day, Monday through Friday. We do the daily ecom session, and then Saturday, we actually do the weekly ecom planning session where we plan out our week and make intentional decisions in our business. And then one Sunday out of the month, which is the Sunday that's coming up, we actually go through and do our monthly planning for the month that's coming up, which will be the month of June. So I invite you to come and check us out. We're live on Clubhouse. We're also live in the e-commerce planning Facebook group. And again, this is my passion. So I guess I'm an organization nerd or junkie. Today's topic is actually about using some of the ADHD productivity hacks to help you to stay focused and productive in your e commerce business. So, if you have ADHD, this may or may not be helpful for you. If you don't have ADHD, some of these strategies can help you regardless. So, our article comes to us today from Life Hacker. We go through and we pull up an article every single day that we are going to review as part of our morning ecom motivation. And so our article is from Life Hacker. Since we're live in the e-commerce planning Facebook group, you can go in there and you can follow along to see what the topic is or what we're talking about. In addition to that, um, you can go in that Facebook group and download the daily checklist. So after we go through the article, we'll go through and step through our daily checklist. So, with that being said, the article name is You Don't Need ADHD to Use ADHD Productivity Hacks. You don't need ADHD to use ADHD productivity hacks. And I actually believe that. So some of us are probably self-diagnosed ADHD. We have ADHD and we're self-diagnosed, and some of us are officially diagnosed. And some people don't have it at all, but you just have some challenges with being focused and staying consistent. So I chose this topic today because after getting COVID, just having the ability to stay focused and consistent, not only for me, for my business partner, and just for other people that I know, like every once in a while you get that brain fog and just being able to come back and get back up on the horse. Now, my struggle is not as bad as it was right after, but from time to time I have what I refer to as brain hiccups where I'm going, okay, having a little bit of hard time just focusing, staying on task, what is going on. um, and there's other things that you can do if you do have ADHD. I'm sure that there are supplements. There's other techniques that you may have learned over the years. But I think this is a good article to review just to help you with staying productive and staying focused. So, with that being said, I want to go through it and let's just see what they have to do. So, the first productivity tip or hack that they recommend is that you decide what to tackle first. Um, every day there's you got to go through and you got to figure out what the priority is of the day. And so as part of our daily econ planning session, we go through and we figure out, okay, what is the main thing, what's the in our daily checklist, what's our daily goal, that if everything goes south on us, something major happens, an emergency comes up, what is the major priority of today? If nothing goes right, what's the one thing that we need to get done today? So deciding what to tackle first, I think that's a good one to try and figure out what is your priority each day. And I think you should also have weekly priorities. And then, you should look into potentially monthly priorities. The next thing is to break down your bigger task, taking those tasks that you have in your business every single day that you need to get done, or in your personal life, not just your business, but also your personal life. Breaking those down from bigger tasks to smaller tasks will help you maybe make a little bit more progress to help you to stay more focused. Maybe it won't feel so overwhelming. And so being overwhelmed sometimes creates procrastination in our lives. And we don't want to be overwhelmed, so we can break it down into small tasks. So if you have something that's major that needs to get done, maybe break it down into 1 or 2 hour tasks over a week if it is something that's going to be a little more involved and labor intensive. And so when we do our monthly planning session, that's one of those things that we talk about, breaking down those things that we need to get done into smaller tasks, or just breaking them down and spread it out throughout the week, so it's a little less daunting. Number three is to use lists. So use lists. I definitely use lists, but I also establish daily goals, daily objectives, daily schedules, daily plans, however you want to look at it. Some people like checklists over daily schedules. I prefer time blocks. So, what am I going to commit this hour to? And so, if you don't want to use that technique or that strategy, then putting together a list or a checklist that you can go through may help you feel like you're gaining a little bit of momentum as you're able to check things off your list. Number four is work in small increments. I think that is similar in some ways to breaking down bigger tasks. So, again, a little bit at a time. I talk about incremental actions or incremental improvements over time can actually change your business. So, the little things that you do every single day in your business over time can actually change the end result, it can actually improve your end result. So think about every single task and activity that you do in your business, even the small ones. And if you work on those little things um, to help guide or restructure the big thing. So an example of that is some people actually like Pilates. And the key to Pilates is you work on all the smaller muscles that support the bigger muscle. So if the bigger muscle, like for runners or for people that are gymnasts or whatever activity you happen to be involved in, if you work on all of the smaller muscles that support the bigger muscle, that's where you're going to see the improvement in your performance over time. And so that's why Pilates works. It's the same concept when it comes to your e-commerce business or even your life. If you work on all of the smaller things that you have, the little incremental things, it will affect the bigger result over time. So you should try it. Work on the little things. Number five is to incorporate exercise breaks. So I've mentioned before, as you are working in your business, or you're working on this e-commerce journey, to definitely consider dancing like no one is watching. Like seriously, you should have a midday, lose your mind dance break. Find that song that you really, really love, or a couple of songs that you really love. Put together a YouTube playlist, whatever, or your Spotify, or whatever you listen to, and get moving. Go outside, go for a walk, but incorporate a little bit of a break in your routine, especially if it is something that is going to be an extended activity. It's going to take a long time. It's going to be a few hours, or it's a longer task, and it just feels like it's going to be extremely tedious or monotonous. Break it up with a little bit of exercise. It'll actually lift your spirits too, as well. The next one is I think this is number six. Write down off topic thoughts. So if you find yourself wandering, your brain is somewhere else, you're thinking about, this happens to me every once in a while, where I am working in my business and maybe a product idea will come to me, or something that I'm thinking about that's coming up. Maybe I know that my kids are going to be going on summer vacation, and I'm going through and actually writing a mental list of what I need to pack for my kids. It has nothing to do with what I'm working on right now. Like my mind has wandered off. So write down those things that have nothing to do with what you're working on right now, so you can get them out the way, and then come back to and refocus on the activity that you're engaging in right now. When I have ideas about products, as I'm doing product research, um, again, product ideas, I will write them down on a separate piece of paper, so that way it's a brain dump for that particular thing, and I can come back to it later and use it to help me make decisions, maybe on what I'm sourcing next month or next quarter, or for Q4. So using that strategy to write things down, so that way you can come back to it and you'll have the opportunity to focus on what it is that you're doing right now. The next one is create a productivity playlist. I just mentioned that. So, um, so I mentioned the music. a productivity playlist. One of the things, well, not exactly the same thing. This is what I do when it comes to a productivity playlist. I have mentioned before that I use YouTube. There is focus and concentration music, or they sometimes call it study music. So you can use the study music, you can use the focus and concentration music to help you to stay focused on what it is that you happen to be doing right now. So if you are having a hard time focusing while you're actually doing the activity, you can play that in the background. It is designed to help those people that actually do have ADHD to be able to focus. Sometimes it's considered not necessarily white noise, but it's just like certain sounds and tones. And so it helps the brain. And I will play that in the background. I'll find focus and concentration music on YouTube and just play it in my background while I'm working on whatever task I have. Some of those are like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. So if you are working in your business and your schedule is, 5 hours today, I'm focusing in my business, or 5 hours of productivity, but you've broken down what you're doing every 30 minutes or every hour, you can use that so that way when the music is done, then you finished your work for the entire day, your 5 hours you've committed to. So playing that focus and concentration music can sometimes help. And then, of course, break dancing every once in a while, so that so that you can, have a brain break in the middle of it. If you are suffering, if you think you're suffering from ADHD, or if you are struggling with focus and concentration, there are people that you can see that can help you with, you know, maybe some strategies and techniques to help you to focus, some things that you can do to help you with focus. I would tell you, my son does have ADHD. And so one of the strategies we've used is we do interactive metronomes. You might want to look into that if that's one of the things that you struggle with. There's also, um, oh God, neurofeedback. My son came in, and my other son came in and interrupted my thought. Neurofeedback is another thing. Changes to your diet, changes in supplements, or adding supplements. So again, if you have any medical conditions, that I'm not a medical professional, but those are some of the strategies that I've used with my son and with my kids to help them with their challenges. And so you can look into them on your own. If you need to seek medical attention or talk to a medical professional, I encourage you to do that, because I am not one. But again, you can go Google some of those strategies and techniques on your own. So with that being said, I hope that information was helpful. I hope you use it on your journey, some of those productivity hacks. So you don't have to have ADHD to use them. But if you do, I think some of them, all of them actually, are quite helpful and quite useful. So with that being said, I'm going to reset the room. My name is Nicole Whitlock, and I am with eCom Sellers. My passion is helping people on their e-commerce journey, helping them to get focused, get consistent, um, get increase their productivity, and get organized. So if that's you, if you are a person that needing some help with some organization, productivity, you need an accountability partner, I'm there for you. Feel free to reach out to me. You can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session by going to ecomsellers.com, uh, then clicking on freebies and scheduling a free 20-minute coaching session with me. In addition to that, I encourage everyone to get the ecom planner. You can go to myecomplanner.com. It is the ultimate e-commerce planner. It was created for sellers by sellers, and it's designed to help you with your productivity, your organization, your focus, and your e-commerce business to stay consistent and to keep moving your business forward. So grab the My Ecom Planner. You can get the digital version or the physical version of the planner to help you on your journey. And then last but not least, if you are not a member of eCom Sellers Academy, I invite you to join us. With eCom Sellers Academy, you get ongoing e-commerce support. We have live weekly live weekly training sessions to discuss what is working right now in your e-commerce business, giving you strategies every single day that you can use. In addition to that, you get 10 free retail and online arbitrage leads. You get 10 free wholesale supplier lists every single week. In addition to that, you can participate in the live Q&A session. You'll join our Facebook group. You'll gain access to over 200 live training videos on every topic of e-commerce that you can think of. So we've covered them all, every method of e-commerce, and our leadership, we've engaged in every method of e-commerce. So definitely check out the training videos. And if you grab the lifetime subscription, then you'll get a free e-commerce planner with that. But if you don't, you can definitely participate in the monthly at $17.99 a month. And again, we're here for you. So I hope that's helpful. Now we're going to move on to our daily ecom planning checklist. So you can download the daily ecom planning checklist directly in the e-commerce planning Facebook group. It is 9 activities that we engage in every single day to help us to stay focused on our e-commerce business and to make progress every single day. So with that, I am going through the checklist, and we're going to start with the 4 things that we do the day before so that we can be productive and focused and consistent in our e-commerce business. So the first thing is the night before, we're going to commit to 15 minutes, 5 to 15 minutes. Now, it could be 5 minutes for you because of the fact that you participated in the weekly planning session. And if you did, that's great. In the weekly planning session, we schedule out every single day of the week. So you can go over to your weekly planning session information output and extract the information or review the information for Wednesday. If you didn't participate in the weekly planning session, you can step through it right now. If you didn't, do the activity last night. So last night, the goal was to, before you go to bed, right before you go to bed. So let the day go through and do everything you need to do for the day. And at the end of the day, we're going to review the schedule. We're going to review how did things go? What did you accomplish? What did you complete? What did you not complete? What do you need to carry over to tomorrow? What do you need to move to next week or to next month? So kind of assess the day. How did things go? And, regardless of how many things you had on your list, maybe you had 20 things on your list and you only completed 8. We're going to celebrate the things you did get done. The things we didn't get done, there may be an opportunity to learn from those, or it may be that yesterday was just a bust. Sometimes we have those days where everything that could go wrong or there's major interruptions all day long. And that's what happens sometimes. Yesterday, for me personally, took me longer to do 90% of the stuff that I needed to do because a lot of interruptions from my kids. I did plan for those interruptions, but some of them were a little more major than others. If you don't know, I have 2 special needs kiddos, and one of them is autistic, and so sometimes he requires just a little more focus and concentration than I plan. So go through and assess Tuesday. How did it go? And make a note or start to account for where you're spending time, where you're investing time, if you're not already doing that. If you are already doing it, that's fantastic. But if you're not, let's start regaining control of where we're spending our time and what we're spending our time on so that we can get that time back and use it towards something that's going to help us get to whatever our ultimate goal is. And if your ultimate goal is to get to $1 million seller, that's fantastic. If your ultimate goal is just to be able to fire your boss, fantastic. If your ultimate goal is just to be able to save a little extra money for a vacation, that's fantastic. Whatever your goal is, okay? Number 2 on our night before is that we're going to go through and update our daily tracking stats. How many listings did you create? How many items did you sell? How many listings did you rework? What were your number of SKUs? What were your sales for the day? What ads did you run for the day? How many ads did you run? What was your mileage? What were your expenses? Like, we're going to write down all of the stuff that's going to ensure that we're making progress in our business and we're staying focused in our e-commerce business. So go through and update your daily tracking stats before you go to bed. Then go through and look at your online calendar. What do you have on your agenda for the day? What are the things that are going to pop up throughout your day today? So go and look at your daily your daily online calendar. So that can be your Yahoo, that could be your Gmail, your iCloud, that can be your work calendar. So some people have like 3 calendars, online calendars. One may be for work, um, one may be for personal, and one may be for um, my son just came in again. One may be for personal, and one may be for your business. So whichever one it happens to be, go through and take a look at those online calendars and make the necessary adjustments in your day to be able to be prepared for those. So mentally. In addition to that, the last thing we're going to do before we go to bed is we're going to go through our daily plan for tomorrow. We're going to go through and we're going to, if we didn't write out a plan or goals for tomorrow or a schedule for tomorrow, we're going to write that out. If we did, that's fantastic. We can review it if you've gone through and pulled out your actual. The one thing about your schedule for tomorrow, we want to make sure that we incorporate not just the things for our business, but also our personal life. Because God blesses us with 24 hours in the day. Of those 24, you may be spending, your waking hours, maybe 18 or 19 of those hours. And what you're doing in those 18, 19, or 16 hours is a combination of things for your business and your personal life. So when you're working to regain control of where you're spending time or wasting time in your business and in your life, writing down where you're spending your time is extremely important. It's just like, regaining control of your spending. The one thing that they tell you to do is to create a budget so you know where your dollars are going. Same concept. You got to regain control of where you're spending time. So the best way to do that is to track it. Okay. Or if you're working to lose weight, same concept. Again, working to regain control of what you're eating, what you're drinking, how much rest you're getting. So if you're working to lose weight, you got to track everything. And that's the same thing we're doing here, is just regaining control. So building a schedule so that we can regain control of where we're spending our time. And that is and that's everything that's happening in our life, not just our business, but also our personal. So with that being said, it's time to go to bed, and we get up the next morning, which happens to be right now. So we go for our walk, get our coffee, grab our water, or do our meditation, whatever your morning routine is. If your morning routine is yell at the kids, then go yell at the kids. No, don't do that. So we're going to step through today, and we're going to start with step one of this process, which is to reassess yesterday. Again, we're working to regain control of where we're spending our time. So we need to go back once we have gone to sleep and we're awake, we're refreshed, we're re-energized. Now we can say, okay, what did I forget from yesterday? So kind of review yesterday and fill in the blanks, fill in the holes, write down the things you completely forgot about. What that will do for us long-term, bigger picture, is to help us to build a better Tuesday schedule and to build a better, more productive and realistic schedule going forward. So go through and reassess yesterday. Make sure you've accounted for everything. Step two is to review your weekly priorities and weekly habits. And step three is to review your monthly goals. So it's the fourth full week of May. It's the last week of May and full week of May. And you establish some monthly goals, 20 to 25 monthly goals if you participate in a monthly planning session. Where are you on that journey? It's hump day. You're halfway through this week. So hopefully you've made progress. Hopefully you checked off a lot of things on the monthly planning checklist. I hope so. If not, you got some progress you need to make this week. You got some things to do. So go through and look at that and see where you are on the journey and what are the things you need to incorporate in today. There might be some things you need to squeeze in or you need to adjust or shuffle. In addition to that, what are your priorities for the week? Again, it's hump day. So what do you got to get done? What do you have on your list? What are the top things? Now, your priorities for the week can be personal and business. So again, establishing those priorities and then your habits, the things that you're working to build and build routines around. Those weekly habits can be anything from, creating 10 listings every single day or, going through and checking your daily stats. Maybe that's a habit that you don't have right now, or writing down your daily stats. So what are the habits that you're working to build? That could be going for a walk, drinking water, whatever it is. So go through step 2 and step 3 and review those. And then step 4 of the process, we're going to pull out that schedule we built last night. And now we're going to use that schedule that we built last night or the day before or last week. And we're going to prepare to use and execute that schedule today. So the first thing is to determine the main thing. If everything goes wrong today and it goes south, what's the main thing that needs to happen today? If nothing else goes right, just in case. So that will help you prepare if there's an emergency. Like, this is the one thing I got to get done if I'm not able to get anything else done. The other thing is, again, incorporating all of your life. So you're going to have some dedicated and committed time towards your business, but you also have the rest of your day that revolves around that. So, your morning routine, your evening routine, the stuff with your kids or not. If you don't have kids, maybe you have pets, maybe you have family and friends that you go and hang out with. So, or that you interact with every single day. Maybe one of your things is to get up and call your mom. I mean, I have no idea. But again, going through that daily schedule of whatever your routine is, and being prepared to execute that schedule. So we're going to read our schedule. We're going to, if we need to, rewrite it or make adjustments to it based on all the information we did before now. And we're going to speak it into existence. So when you write your schedule or you go through your schedule the night before, what that does is that helps your subconscious mind prepare your conscious mind for today so that you can visualize what it is that you'll be doing today, what the schedule is going to look like. So go through and participate in that activity. Over time, you'll see that your productivity will gradually increase over time by doing that. And then step 5 of the process says to review or write your schedule for tomorrow so that tomorrow is not a surprise. The last thing is that we need to identify those interruptions, those disruptions, the things that are going to mess up our routine in some way or another, that are going to impact our schedule in some way or another, in a negative way or potentially a positive way. I don't know. But most of the time, these disruptions or interruptions are going to impact our schedule in a negative way, meaning we're not going to be able to achieve our goals or be able to focus like we wanted to for the day. So when those things come up that are not emergencies, just regular day-to-day stuff, when they come up, it is not a surprise. We need to be prepared for those things. So you need to go through and not be surprised by those things when they pop up. They're going to happen. They're going to come. Make sure you make adjustments to your schedule to account for them. These are disruptions like, okay, you have a doctor's appointment. Well, that doctor's appointment, you may have 2 hours allotted for the doctor's appointment. You may need to add an extra hour or an extra hour and a half, depending on what's happening. Because, these days, most of the medical offices are fully packed. Some people were not going to the doctor during COVID. And so some of those doctor's offices are pretty packed with people that need to get appointments. Maybe you scheduled an appointment 3 months ago and now it's come up. So again, adding that extra time to account for that. If you didn't account for it, then you lose like 2 or 3 hours extra of productivity that day and you're just kind of frustrated. So going through and making adjustments, which means it's going to impact what you had planned as far as what you're going to work in your business and also maybe things that you were doing in your life today or tomorrow or whatever the day happens to be. And then the other thing is the bigger disruptions, things like going on vacation, because it's the summertime. I mean, people are going to go on vacation. So you need to account for that in your schedule, your personal schedule and your business schedule. So make adjustments where you need to, because it's going to impact your stats, your daily stats. Maybe you were consistently listing 10 items a day, but because you're going on vacation, you're going to have 0 items a day. So maybe the week before you increase from 10 to like 12 items per day the week before. So you get a little bit of momentum because you're accounting for the fact that you're going to be away from your computer and away from everything for a week or however long your vacation is. And then when you come back, maybe after the first 2 days of coming back, because those first 2 days, you just got to unpack, you got to unwind and mentally prepare yourself to go back to your regular routine. So I always give myself a 2-day buffer. And then I make adjustments to my schedule from there. So maybe instead of listing 10 items a day, I go to 12 items a day, and just for a partial week, and then go back to your regular routine after that. So look at opportunities to make adjustments to your schedule that will reduce the impact or reduce the disruption if possible over time. This does not mean emergencies. This just means regularly scheduled stuff that is sometimes a surprise to you because the date popped up much quicker than you planned. So I hope that information is helpful to you. I hope you use that on your e-commerce journey. And I hope that you're able to have some success with some of the strategies we talked about today. So I'll reset the room. My name is Nicole Whitlock, and my passion is helping people on their e-commerce journey. If that's you, if you need help with getting organized, getting focused, getting consistent, being more consistent in your business, you're welcome to schedule a free 20-minute coaching session with me. If you need an accountability buddy, I'm happy to talk to you. You can go to ecomsellers.com, click on freebies, and schedule a free 20-minute coaching session. In addition to that, I invite you to join eCom Sellers Academy, where you can get regular day daily and weekly support on your e-commerce journey. You can also learn about the different methods of e-commerce. You can gain access to our free 10 weekly retail arbitrage and online arbitrage leads to use that to go make money right now. In addition to that, you'll gain access to our wholesale list that we'll send you every single week so that you can use that to help you to start establishing wholesale accounts with different suppliers over time. In addition to that, you'll gain access to our live Q&A, live weekly training sessions that we walk through what's working right now, and you'll gain access to our library of training. So there's over like 200 plus training videos in there. And last but not least, if you haven't already done so, grab the eCom Planner. You can go to myecomplanner.com. You can download the digital version or buy the physical version, but use that planner to help you get organized, stay focused, and stay consistent in your business. If you join eCom Sellers Academy on the lifetime plan, you will get a free eCom Planner with that. So I hope that helps you make the decision to join eCom Sellers Academy and get the free planner. So with that, again, my name is Nicole Whitlock, and I hope that you have an amazingly blessed, extremely focused, highly productive day today. And with that, we will say goodbye for now. Bye, y'all.